Ok, me encuentro en la casa de Rick Steier bueno, él ha estado en varias bandas como Warrant, Kingdom Come, Wild Horses, Kottak. Hay una banda que está de Nueva Zelanda. Bueno, él nos va a contar un poquito qué ha hecho, qué está haciendo. Rick, how you doing, man?
Good, brother. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Well, tell me, what's going on with you recently after, well, my story of you and in Warrant, okay?
Right. I did a few things with James Kottak, who's the drummer of Scorpions now. I just realized he's been with them for 16 years. So we played together in Warrant, but he always wanted to do a little side project where he was the main guy. So in his band,
Kottak, yeah.
Well, before that it was called Krunk.
Yes,
We
right.
did a little private, individual, independent couple CDs for that. But James would sing, and Athena, his wife at the time, with Tommy Lee's sister, they were married. She would play drums, and then we had a cool bass player that wasn't well known, but so it was just the four of us. So we kicked that around for a while. Then I had kids. I didn't have them, but my wife did.
It makes sense.
So things kind of slowed down there for a while, where I just kind of hung around the house, trying to be a good father, and watching the kids grow up a little bit. In the meantime, I would work with some young bands. Some producers would call me that I'd worked with in the past, Keith Olsen and some other guys. They said, "Well, we have a young band. Their materials, they got signed on maybe 2 songs, but they had, at the time, you had to buy the whole CD. It wasn't like iTunes was around then. So they needed work on the rest of the songs to make it a little more pleasing to the ear, where somebody they didn't want it to say, oh, 2 songs are great and the rest suck. They wanted to make sure that they were all halfway
Yeah.
decent. So he would hire me to work with the band and get the songs up to par, arranging, adding little parts in here. But they would play the parts. I only played guitar on one song that I know of that got released. But anyway, and then I got into my own little business. It's my own little product. I have a patent on it. It's called, the website's photolightframes.com. Did I give you a card before?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So I promote. So I did that for a while. And I'm still involved with that. It's still my company. I bought out my partner, and we had some pretty good clients. Kodak, not Kottak, but
Kodak. Linda Eastman.
A lot of mom and pop stores. I would sell these things, and it's just a nightlight, but you can put any picture in it that's like a 4x6, a standard 4x6 picture in it.
Okay,
it's very low tech, not digital. It's just a nightlight, very warm light. So music kind of took us. I was able to stay home, stay in town, and raise the family, and still run a business. I'd play music here and there, but
not that often.
Not as much as I'd like to. Then about 5 years ago, a friend approached me and said, "Hey, my kid wants to take lessons." Well, I never thought that I would enjoy giving lessons. It's like, oh, really?
Okay.
Really? Well, I'll give you a number of someone you can call, right? Well, he kept bugging me, and finally I said, okay, I'll give your son some guitar lessons. So I eventually gave him 1 and 2, and I realized that I enjoyed it. Because in college I tutored math, and I forgot it's very similar, and I remember enjoying that, and I never put 2 and 2 together that I would like teaching guitar. And so I realized this was kind of fun. I could stay at home, make a little bit of money, along with my other business, and then I'd still be playing every day, So now I have 32 students, which is kind of cool. And if you break it down, it's really not that many per day. If you take a 5-day work week,
right,
it's only 6 students. Some of them take an hour, some of them take a half hour, and then it's on my own terms. Like I can still sleep in late if I want to start the lessons at 11 or whatever.
Right.
So I can still kind of live rock and roll hours because I can't get up at 6 or 7 in the morning. 7 sounds. You guys are probably going 7. That's late. But
not for me.
yeah,
No.
I mean 9 o'clock I'm okay with. You know,
We're
10,
in the
10,
same
10 is better.
Yeah,
11
yeah.
is awesome. so you know, those days are kind of, you know, not happening. But 9 o'clock is a good time.
So you change your life, but you keep some of the things you do in the past, you know?
Yeah, I'm able to
You know, waking up
play.
late. And
Yeah, that kind of thing.
maybe not that many groupies, but still waking up late.
Not as many groupies. Yeah, I wake up by myself without the groupies. Yeah.
without the, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if I stayed in bed at 11, I'd have a groupie. I don't know. Anyway, makes no sense, but I said it. So then, the last thing I did musically, which was a lot of fun. I play guitar for a band called Fate Twister. They're out of New Zealand. Fate Twister. And it was kind of like Rage Against the Machine, where it's like kind of rappy vocals, very in your face. Very cool. We did. I don't know.
Where are they from?
New Zealand.
Oh, this is the New Zealand band. Yeah.
So it was the two brothers. One was a singer and one was the keyboard player programmer. So they came to America. They ran into a lawyer that we knew, and long story short, we got hooked up, and they used one of the old producers, Shea Baby. I don't know if you know that name from Bruce Dickinson days and
Okay.
all those. So he was a producer. He's the one that called me up and said, I got this band. They need a guitar player. All they have is basic tracks or basic themes and ideas, but there's no guitar parts written. So I did that with Shea. I really don't know. Once I finish the project, some of these I don't know the status of what happens unless I see. So they may be big in New Zealand for all I know.
So it's not that you went to New Zealand; they came here.
They came here.
So you missed it.
We could have had a free trip.
Yeah.
They did the whole album here at American Studios in North Hollywood.
There's any plan to play again with James? There's any knowing that you are skill buddy.
I don't know if you've heard. It's the buzz is that Kingdom Come's getting back together for a reunion tour.
A reunion tour?
You hadn't heard that?
No, I heard that Lenny
Lenny
released a couple of CDs, but
right. This is they want the original members, Derek Schulman, who worked for Polygram, that actually signed Kingdom Come back in the '80s. I guess Lenny. I don't know who hooked up. I think probably James ran into him on the road because James does the most traveling. Being with the Scorpions, so he talked with Derek and had thrown around the idea, and then Lenny got on board and said it's great, and then they emailed me and blah blah blah. So it's in the works. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it'd be fun. But if it doesn't, life goes on, right?
So it will be all of you, right?
Yeah, and I just ran into JB, the bass player from the Scorpions. We were at the Scorpions show together.
Oh, okay.
Friday night. Why weren't you there?
I was in another party.
Okay.
With groupies.
Oh yeah.
Your
you. Yeah. My ex groupies.
Your ex groupies.
Yeah,
I happen the
My
daughter.
wife there with you?
Yeah.
Okay. She's like. So it was it was at the Sable Center. So I ran into him. I hadn't seen him in a while. So we were talking. He was the bass player for JB Frank, bass player for Kingdom Come.
He's here in
He's in LA.
Oh, okay.
So we have the nucleus. Nobody's been able to talk to Danny, Danny Stagg was the lead guitarist at the time. I don't know. They're kind of making all the connections. I'm kind of sitting back, waiting for.
Do you know where he's here? Is he here or in Germany?
I think he's in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. So the only one in
the only one is from Germany was the lead singer Lenny.
Yeah.
But everybody thought we were a German band.
Yeah, right.
Because we had German names. Like Danny Stagg was Staggerwald, JB Frank, like Frankfurter.
Frank, yeah.
That sounds German.
Yeah.
James Kottak, that's a German name. Mine's Steier, which is a German name.
Yeah. I thought they were.
Yeah. So everybody thinks that we were a German band. So anyway, Danny's somewhere back where he grew up in Pittsburgh. I don't know if they've been able to get a hold of him. I'm just kind of laying in the staying off
yeah.
the side waiting for the word, you know.
Yeah, it's not your call, it's there. It's
Yeah, I
Lenny's
mean,
call,
right. And what that would entail, the reunion would be doing a whole a new CD
Mhm.
featuring the original guys, and you know, who knows? It might. I don't know if it would do well here based on the musical climate here,
Mhm.
but in Europe, I think it's still they're still into that more
Well,
metal sound, but I don't know.
depending the idea of Lenny, I will help you as much as I can because I want to see, you know, Kingdom Come is one of a very few bands that I never seen on stage.
Oh, really?
And all together, I mean,
We'll get
no
back together
Lenny.
for you.
Obviously, yeah, you gotta.
Why else would we get together?
Actually, we're gonna speculate that you're gonna come back. We're gonna do the big, you know, promotion as much as we can. Okay.
Sounds good to me, bro.
Yeah, awesome. Actually, it's a good news. I mean, I didn't expect that because I can see Kingdom Come with the probably the current lineup, but I want to see, you know, you guys playing together. It's like every good old band.
Well, we came out of that late '80s bunch of bands. This is not to disparage Warrant at all, but you know, I played with Warrant for 11 years.
11 years.
Yeah. So, but you know, it was at the time where, you know, the hair bands and all that, Winger and Poison and which I at the time was all good and all, but I always thought Kingdom Come, you know, had a harder edge to us. You know, what didn't really, even though we had the hair.
Yeah.
But I mean, we didn't fit that kind of poppy sound.
Well, no, it was more
It was a little
hard.
More,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
like Zeppelin. Remember, everybody compared us to Zeppelin,
Yeah.
and which is a great comparison. You know, I don't mind.
Well, Lenny has a amazing.
And then
voice.
James would play like Bonham, you know, and then the rest of the band. Actually, Danny played a lot like Page. You know, he had the same kind of feel. So it was a good time to be. Actually, when people say, "Well, who did you play with?" I always say Kingdom Come first, because I'm more proud of that band.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, Warrant was a great run. I had a great time. The guys were great. It was for some reason they got a lot more groupies than Kingdom Come. What's the deal with that? Now I'm looking back at it. I'm not sure how that worked out. I found that out when we toured together. James and I were still in Kingdom Come, and we toured with Warrant.
Right.
And so after a show, there would be all the fans would be. We would have all the boys, the guys.
Yeah, and
hanging around our bus, you know, gotten autographs, and we look over their bus, and they had all the chicks. I was like, what the heck? I'm doing something wrong.
There's something,
so I joined their band. I want to get in that band. I want that band.
It was
I don't care what they play.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I've never even heard of them, but I want to be in that band.
You made it.
I did somehow. It squeaked in there. So anyway, well, with Warrant, I did. You know, I missed their heyday. I did 5 records with them right after the grunge thing came in. So on both the East and West Coast, that was what was happening. I don't know if you remember, you probably do, that no matter what came, if it was grunge, then all the hair bands were just disparaged. They were like thrown under the bus. And just because your friend listened to them, oh, you don't listen to Warrant anymore? Okay, then I won't listen to them.
Right.
It was they followed. They were like sheep. They loved them, maybe, you know. And the radio's got on the back. You know, 80s music was just so taboo. So we had to live with that. But in the heartland of the U.S., you know, between New York and L.A., people still partied and rock and rolled. It
was just a few.
It was the same.
Yeah.
It wasn't so divisive as it was on the East and West Coast.
So now tell me, Rick, about your time with. Well, you made also Wild Horses, right?
Oh yeah, I kind of skipped over them. Actually, Wild Horses. Again, James Kottak on drums. You know, we're from Kentucky, where we grew up in the same town, so I think that
a lot of chicken, right?
A lot of chicken. You know, this is a funny story. When I tell people that the Colonel, you know, the white-haired guy that represents the KFC, he grew up in my neighborhood, then you really think it's a small state and small city. But it just so happened that he, you know, they didn't have like fences between the yards. So we would just drive by the house. He'd be in the front yard weeding or messing with his little garden, and nobody looked at it. You know, it wasn't like this icon, a special. But this was quite a few years ago. But it was Kentucky Fried Chicken then. I mean, now they call it KFC.
KFC, yeah.
Because they don't want to say fried, because fried's got such a bad connotation.
Yeah.
Fried foods, bad. So they got away from saying, so it's KFC. But anyway, you could ride by his house and you'd see him, and it wasn't any special security gates or nothing. Back then it was okay.
Oh, yeah. I know that story.
Yeah, it's funny.
So you gotta be from that town.
But when I tell people that they think, well, so you and the Colonel, what they call it, we're in the same. So it just makes the city sound so small when you say you grew up in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you imagine, just this 15 people in the city or something. I don't know. But anyway, so back to Wild Horses. Right out of Kingdom Come, James and I left Kingdom Come for reasons maybe I don't want to get into, or maybe you don't want to hear, but maybe you already know the story. So we got together. The people at Atlantic Records were interested in what we had from where we came from, and they wanted to say, well, so two guys out of Kingdom Come, let's listen to what they're doing. So we eventually got signed to that label. Keith Olsen produced the record, and here's what this is. This is we were a young new band, so Keith Olsen had a chance to do the Scorpions, so he bumped us.
No.
He pushed us back on the roster, and the Scorpions album, which one would Tease Me and Please Me? What's it?
It was the one with the
Winds of Change and all that, or was that?
No, it was 1990.
91 or something, 90. 1990.
Yeah, well, probably Wind of Change.
See, we're losing our memories.
No, I think it's the next one. It was I forgot the name. The one with Alienation. Probably.
Okay. Well, so Keith saw dollar signs, so he said, guys, I'm still gonna do your record, but I'm just you're gonna have to wait 4 months while I do their record. So that 4 months always turns into 6 months. So their album got released, and I remember hearing it being played on the radio, Tease Me, like on KLOS. Now, by the time we got our album done, finished, grunge had kicked in. Right around 92, Nirvana kicked in. And I was just always think if that had not happened, we would have been played on the radio, instead of, because if you think about Tease Me, Please Me, that's kind of poppy. There would be no way they would play that after Nirvana. Yeah. There would be no, I don't care, Scorpions, Schmorpions. They wouldn't play that song because it was too fun, and it wasn't sad enough. It was like, Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and the whole whole thing. So we got shelved. Although to this day we got great reviews on it from people that
with Bareback, right?
Bareback, yeah. Bareback. Yeah. So anyway, you can still buy it on the internet, but it was just a good rock and roll. Oh, okay. So it was a good rock and roll record, but it wasn't grunge.
Yeah,
it was just good sing-along songs. But anyway, that was the demise of that whole thing.
Well, does anything else you can share with you would like to share with your fans, followers?
You mean I still have fans? That's most surprising to me.
Yeah. Well, I am your
fan. Okay. Well, that's all. That's the most important one.
Yeah.
No, just keep an eye out for me. Go to my website and you'll see photolightframes.com.
Say it again, please.
Photolightframes. Let me spell it for you. PHOTOLIGHTFRAMES.com. And you'll see what I'm doing. It's a great little gift. It's a novelty thing. It's not just a nightlight. I'll actually show you when we go inside. I'll show you, so you'll actually see what it is. But anyway,
and they can contact you for lessons if they are local.
Yeah, through that website.
Yeah,
same photolightframes.com. I'm there, and you can contact me through that way. Lessons, talking, ordering product.
And
Anything.
if we need some kind of suggestions how to treat with the groupies, we can contact you
Well,
too,
they should
right?
contact you for that now.
Yeah, okay. I will
Now
do that.
you're
I
more-
will filter.
Now you're more experienced. I can't even spell groupie now. Is it 1 O or 2 O's? Oh, then there's, I don't know. Anyway, thank guys. Peace out. Take care.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.